Alright, I'm back again with another video, this time talking about the stuff that I've played in the last. Well, one of this is from February because I forgot about it, but the other ones are quite recent video games that I've played through. So let's get right into it. I'll start with Martha is Dead, which is a game that I played in February, like I just said, but I completely forgot about it. Is there something inside here? It's a bit heavy. Oh yeah, there is. So there is. Also, in this physical edition, you have stickers, and there is a poster of some kind. Yeah, this is a horror game. Oh yeah, the game deals with mental health issues, so there's a poster about that, and the other side has this artwork. Right. Is the game any good? Yes and no. Maybe I'll talk a little bit first about the things that I liked about the game. I like the setting. It's set in Italy, which is already quite unusual for a video game. And it's set during the Second World War. You are the daughter of one of the fascists in Italy, and you are in this Italian countryside house. I don't know if you can call it a manor. It's not really that big of a place, but this is kind of a nice looking country house. Very idyllic. The environment around that place, and it looks pretty nice. This game it's a kind of a walking simulator slash first person horror game, and then it has a photography simulator element to it. So you go around with this old timey camera taking photographs, and then you have to go into a dark room and develop the photograph. There's a mini game involved in that. It's pretty interesting. I did enjoy it. You can also skip the dark room bits for the most part if you want to, which is a nice touch from the developers, because I don't think many people would be that enthralled by developing photographs. But yeah, it's an interesting combination of things. I also like the storytelling here. It's told in a very cinematic way, in much more of a cinematic way than most video games that are trying to be cinematic. So it plays out almost like a film, like a movie, where you have these scenes that are then cut into one another. The cutscenes are very nicely directed. I think it's quite interesting, and the storytelling is also somewhat non-linear, which is interesting, maybe confusing for some people, but yeah, it's an interesting way. Like, I think they pulled it off very, very well in this one. It's sort of a cinematic feel to it, to the storytelling, right? But then let's talk about the negatives. So I would give this game a 6 out of 10. And why is that? Well, first of all, the game has severe performance problems. It keeps crashing, which is quite unfortunate. There's also not a very good autosave system here. So if the game crashes and you forgot to do a manual save, you will have to replay 15, 20 minutes from the start of the chapter, basically. And the autosave system doesn't help the technical issues that the game has, which sucks because it is in many ways an interesting game. Besides that, one of the other big problems is that there are side quests, and the side quests are also quite buggy. I had to reload a save at one point because a door, it's not really a door, a prompt to open like something. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a prompt to open something, and the prompt just wouldn't appear. So I had to reload. Otherwise the side quest would have been unplayable. And reloading helped because it worked. So there's that. Also, the Morse minigame is one of the worst puzzle mini games I have ever seen in any video game. So there is this side quest at one point where you have to do Morse code messages or write Morse code messages. And I'm pretty sure it's easier in real life than in this game to do Morse code because the instructions on how the game actually works, how the minigame works, are so nonsensical that it doesn't make any sense what they are trying to make you do. I had to look it up, and once I looked it up, it was simple, but I just couldn't even understand from the instructions in the game how to do it, because it's upside down. Why would anyone read the game in such a way that you start from the what was bottom or whatever, when it's obvious that you visually start from the other part of the puzzle? It's so strange. I don't get it. Right. And then you have to actually write the Morse code messages, which takes forever. You have to write complete sentences, one word at a time, in this Morse code, right? And then once you're through with it, you have to then go back and write another fucking sentence of Morse code. You have to do it multiple times. It is awful. Like, some of the side quests in this game are truly horrendously bad. I also have to say, I mean, this game is about a girl and her sister. One of them may be dead, as you can probably tell from the title of the game. I don't think the storyline really holds up. I don't want to spoil anything about it, but it starts extremely interestingly. It hooked me immediately, and I was interested in finding out what the mystery is and so on. But it's not that great, really. When you get to the end of it, it doesn't really stick the landing, unfortunately. But yeah, and the gameplay is just basically walking simulator. Like, you walk slowly around. There's also a bicycle. You can ride a bicycle, which helps, but you cannot take the bicycle everywhere. It's just a couple of places where you can go with it. But yeah, I guess that's enough about Martha is Dead. If you like walking simulators and horror games, it's a curiosity. You may be interested in seeking it out, but I don't think it's a priority by any means. Right, let's move on. I played the first River City Girls game from this set. So this is the Japanese release. Has one disc. Both games are on the disc. One thing to know about this Impulse release that I didn't know, which is quite interesting, is that the trophy list for the first game is in Japanese. I don't know why, because the game itself is in English and the trophy list is exactly the same as in the English release. So this also has a North American limited run games release. I think they are separate for 1 and 2, and there's also one for the Zero game, River City Girls Zero. So if you're interested in getting trophies, you may have to look up a trophy guide or whatever if you can't read Japanese. The second game, I think, is fully in English, including the trophy list. Or at least it seemed that way. I could be wrong about that because I haven't played this second game. I've played a little bit of it, but not enough. I don't think if I even took a look at the trophy list. But yeah, River City Girls, it's a beat-em-up game developed by WayForward. Their logo is not even on this release. That's interesting. So it's the Shantae people. They've done a bunch of these beat-em-up games. And River City Girls is kind of fun. I like it. If you are not into American Saturday morning cartoons and American modern video game writing, you're going to have a tough time with this one because it's just full of these self-referential, ironic comments by the characters that constantly trying to be funny. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, it can get a bit obnoxious at times, but still, it's over the top fun. I did enjoy it. As a beat 'em up game, I've never been a huge fan of the genre, but I do appreciate games in the genre, and this is definitely one of the better ones, I think. It's a really fun beat 'em up game. The boss fights are annoying for the most part, especially the one with the Guitar Hero, like the button prompts coming at you. Like it's dodging in this game could be better, and blocking, because I found out very quickly that if you just go all out offensive and don't even use the block button, um, on normal difficulty, it just works fine. You don't really even have to block in the game. It's more of a hindrance to make the battles last longer than they should be. So you should just walk around and dodge that way, and then punch and kick everything. Yeah, Reverse the Ghost, I think I would give it an 8 out of 10. The soundtrack in particular is quite a standout for this game, especially the song that plays at the mall. All of the songs that have vocals in them are fantastic, and yeah, I kind of liked Reverse the Ghost. It's not my favorite beat 'em up by any means. I think like the Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge, I enjoyed that much more, and also Streets of Rage 4, but out of the more recent ones. But yeah, it's a good one. It's a fun one. Also, really good couch co-op game if you are looking for a couch co-op game. It's not too difficult. There are many difficulty levels, so you can play it with someone who isn't particularly well versed in this genre. Right. Moving on to the third one, one of the big ones here. This is Resident Evil 8 Village, the Gold Edition, which unfortunately does not have the DLC on the disc. I think there are download codes. Yeah, I'm not going to show the code. Well, I've used the code, so why wouldn't I? Why would I'm losing my words. I've used the code already, so I don't know why I'm afraid of showing it. But well, it's just a habit. I don't like showing like download codes or whatever. So Resident Evil 7 is one of my favorite games from the last generation, the PS4 generation. So I took a surprisingly long time getting around to playing this, but I'm glad I did because I enjoyed it a lot. I'm quite surprised how lukewarm of a reception this game got at launch. Well, I do prefer 7 over this, so maybe other people feel that way as well. But I think Resident Evil 8 is a very strong game. It's a weird one in a series because it doesn't have really zombies in it. It's moving even further away from the zombies, the zombie origins, and it's about this like fungus and mold, like from 5 and 7. I don't know how I feel about that because I do, and my favorite Resident Evil games are still the GameCube remake of 1 and the original 2 on the PS1. And those are just proper zombie games. So I don't know how I feel about that. This one has werewolves in it, it's cool, but is it really what I want from a Resident Evil game? I don't know. But yeah, this continues the storyline that began in Resident Evil 7. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it refers to that in many parts of the game. The storyline itself is just ridiculous, like you would expect from a modern Resident Evil game. It's fun. It's really fun. It's visually stunning, especially when you get to the underground sections. The dark parts in this game look great, and the atmosphere is fantastic. I do appreciate this game for having this sort of a hub-based structure where you have this village that's in the title, and that from that you have like a well, it is like the fungus in the game where it spreads out from that. So you have these different areas you go to from the hub. You have obviously you have the now fan favorite castle with the Lady Dimitrescu character as your main enemy, and then you have the fortress, which I think the fortress is I'll get back to that later. So you have these like set pieces spread out throughout the surrounding areas of the village. It's quite an interesting structure. I was surprised how early on the castle part was and how short it was, because it was just a small part of the game. I thought that the castle would be the main part of the game, but it was just a couple of hours, and then you beat Lady Dimitrescu and you move on, and there is how many, like 3 or 4 areas more. You have the fishing hamlet part, you have the fortress, and then you have the like surrounding village stuff, and then you have the like dollhouse thing. So quite a few places to see, quite a few bosses to fight. Extremely fun game to speedrun. I did go for the platinum trophy here. I didn't get it because I didn't do some of the challenges, I don't think, but or were they required for it? I can't remember. I did go for most of the trophies just because I thought the game was extremely fun to play. In terms of gameplay, this is the first person version of Resident Evil 4, really. It reminds me so much of Resident Evil 4, and to be controversial, I prefer this game over Resident Evil 4. I've never been a huge fan of Resident Evil 4, or the more action-oriented feel of the Resident Evil, some of the Resident Evil games. I'm much more into the slow-paced survival horror stuff, and I think this is a great combination of those two. So this has the slower bits that you would get from Resident Evil 7, but then it also has the fortress that I mentioned, that is just balls to the walls, blasting werewolves with shotguns, just dozens of enemies rushing at you, and it gets crazy. It reminds me of the castle section of Resident Evil 4, where you have all of the people with the shields coming at you. But I hated that part in Resident Evil 4. I think the fortress part is quite fun. So, what do I think of this game overall? I would give it a strong 8, maybe a low 9. It is a good entry into the series. The DLC, I thought, was a disappointment. The DLC for Resident Evil 7 was fantastic. Well, you had the short story DLC, and then you had the survival mode, I think, and then you had that mini game with the cutting off the fingers, like that one-on-one game of finger cutting with one of the villains. And I loved the DLC for Resident Evil 7. Here, it's all right, I guess. The story DLC is fine, I guess. I don't know how much I want to say about that, because that's probably part that some people who have played the base game haven't checked out. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's basically going through same areas that you went through in the base game, but with a different character. The gameplay is quite different. I quite enjoyed the gameplay for the DLC because it's so much more based around, survival horror for one part, but then you become really powerful near the end of it. So there's kind of a power fantasy element to it. And I do like the character. So in the DLC, you play as the girl from this game, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head now, but it's the daughter, right? Who has powers. What is her name? Does it say it here on the back? It's not Ethan Winters. It's the daughter of Ethan Winters, like the baby from the main game, right? Rose. Yeah, it's Rose. So I like her as a character. They are setting up her as one of the protagonists going forward. I don't mind that. I think she's kind of an interesting character. It does go a little bit too much into the teenage girl empowerment thing. That I'm not in the target audience for that, right? It's not my thing, but I think she's a pretty good character still. So yeah, there's Resident Evil Village. I'll give it a low 9 out of 10, maybe a high 8 out of 10. Next up, 2 quick ones. No, actually 3 quick ones, and then two that are a bit bigger. I played through Call of Juarez: The Cartel on the PS3. And now this is the perfect example of why I enjoy going into games completely blindly, because I didn't know anything about this game. I didn't know before I started playing this that this is considered as one of the worst PS3 games ever made. And I can see why, because as I said, I played I didn't know anything about this game, but I played through the original Call of Juarez, I think last year or maybe 2 years ago, and I liked that one a lot. Not the original one, but what is it called? Bound by Blood? Is it that one? I guess that's the second one in the series. I really enjoyed that one. It's the Western one. This is the one where you are fighting against cartels, obviously, like drug gangs. And it's awful. It's really bad. When I started this game, I started playing the first mission. I immediately went audibly, not just in my head, but audibly. Oh no, this is not good. Like, the shooting mechanics here are terrifyingly bad. It is so bad. The feel when you're aiming your weapons, just how moving the crosshair around feels. It is so horrendously bad. It's so inaccurate. And it's not me being bad at the game, it's the game being really bad, because I've played FPS games my whole life. I know what I'm doing. I'm pretty good at them. Not great, but pretty good. And this is not a good FPS game. It is not good. And then on top of that, you have the storyline, which is just basically you going around shooting immigrants for the whole duration of the game. It's a game that wouldn't be made today. Let's just say it that way. It doesn't have a modern sensibility to it. It is very much like around 2010. When was this made? Like 2007. Is it really from 2011? That's later than I was expecting. I was expecting this to be like 2009, 2008, around that time. 2011, okay. It feels like a PS3 game. You are just going around killing all of the immigrants, all of them, and they are all in drug gangs also. So that's fun, I guess, for some people. But yeah, some things that I do enjoy about the game. It does have a lot of variety to the level design. You have a level in a cemetery, you have a level in a forest, you have a level in the ghetto, obviously, and there's a lot of variety to it, but it just never gets interesting. There's also awful levels where you have to shoot from hanging out from a driving car, and it's almost impossible to hit anything really. It's a legitimate 3 out of 10. It's awful. So I did waste a weekend on that. I did also trophy hunt in that, because some of the trophies are stupid. There's one of the levels has a trophy where you just have to shoot enough black people to get the trophy, which was not really, again, for the sensitive modern audiences, but there you go. And I'm not saying that I'm saying that it was so stupid that it's kind of funny. I'm not saying that it's funny in and of itself. You know what I mean. I don't care. I don't get any money from these videos anyway, so there's no way to cancel me. So there you go. Right. I also played Demolition Girl on a PS2, which is another game that is not for the sensitive modern audiences. It's about an hour-long game. It's a Japanese game, as you can probably tell. It takes about an hour to beat it, and it's basically a kaiju giant monster game, but the giant monster is a woman who was on the beach minding her own business and then got turned into a giant because of reasons. And, well, the first level is literally you having to take the measures of the giant woman. Like, you fly around on a helicopter and you measure her breasts and buttocks, right? So that's where the game starts. And it's all downhill from there, because it's basically a flight simulator. It's an extremely arcadey flight simulator where you're flying around with helicopters and like fighter jets and different kinds of aerial vehicles. There's also a level where you control a tank, so also land combat. But the controls are terrible. The visuals are terrible. It lasts around an hour, I guess, which was also it was starting to feel a bit too much already by the time I got to the end, and it's just not a very good game. It's an interesting curiosity, and again, when I did my PS2 collection videos, I mentioned that this game is quite cheap. It is still cheap. It is quite cheap still to get. So if you want to get this game in your collection, you should probably look into getting it quite soon, because when it goes up in price, inevitably, because it's a weird Japanese game, you don't want to pay more than $20 or euros for it. Like it's not great. I got this used copy. This is a really clean copy. It looks nice. I got this for, I think, 15 euros. Or maybe 12, I can't remember, right? So, moving on with the garbage. Third game in a row. Oh yeah, Demolition Girl. It's a strong 5 out of 10. It's kind of funny. And it's over. It's remorseful. It's remorsefully short, let's put it that way. Right. Remorsefully. Is that even a word? I don't know. I'm out of my mind at the moment. I can't even speak. The developers are giving you remorse by making it short. That's what I mean. Right. I played Fort Boyard on a PS4. It's kind of funny that out of all of the PS4 games that I had in my collection videos, this is one of the games that I got a comment from, like a YouTube comment from. So someone saying that they have played Fort Boyard. It's not good. Well, yeah, it is not good. I know, because I played through it. I also trophy hunted this game to 100% completion. It doesn't have a platinum trophy, but it does have some relatively easy trophies to get. I spent like one evening, an hour and a half playing this game, and it's a game show game, so it's just mini games. The mini games are not that good. Some of them are so bad that they are funny. I like the one where you're driving around in this caged car and avoiding lions or tigers or whatever they were. I think they were tigers, actually. So you're riding around like in this cage with just tigers in it. I like that one. I like the one where you are running on a treadmill and the controls are just all over the place and you have no idea what's even happening. I like that one. And the worst one is probably the one where you have to use a jetpack, and the jetpack controls are just something else. Like it's almost impossible to control the character. Yeah. It's a collection of minigames. The minigames are not good. And that's that for Boyard. But I did enjoy it. I did stream it to a friend also. And my friend also enjoyed it. So maybe that enhanced my experience, that I wasn't suffering alone. But I did do the trophy hunting alone. So I guess I'm out of my mind for not immediately turning this game off and putting it on my shelf. But there you go, Fort Boyard. The game show that it's based on, it doesn't exist anymore, but it was an actual television show. I don't know how many versions there were, but there was also a Finnish version of this game show. I'm from Finland, as some of you know. There was also a Finnish version of this, and obviously not as high budget, but a low budget version of it. And I never really enjoyed the TV show either. So at least our version of it. I haven't watched the original. The game also does have the midget character from the TV show. So there's that. If you're into that, or I guess whatever, little people, midgets, dwarves. I don't know. Just short people, and there are reasons why they are short. So there you go. All right, and let's end with this one. I was actually thinking of doing 2 more, but I'm running out of time, so let's do this one. The Mafia trilogy. I played the first one, so it's impossible to show just the first one, so I have the trilogy box set here. The physical for this is quite nice, but yeah, I played the first game, Mafia Definitive Edition. I have played the original on the PS2. I don't think I ever finished it, but I have played it. I do have the copy of it on my shelf as well, that a friend of mine gave to me. I asked years later, like, do you want this back? Because it's still on my shelf, and he said, no, you can just keep it. So thank you to that person. I don't think there's no way he's watching this. No way. Yeah. He also gave me his copy of Resident Evil 1 for the PS1. So just and Resident Evil 2 actually. Like those three games. An extremely nice person. Everyone should have friends like that, like people who gift you Resident Evil games. That's great. But yeah, Mafia Definitive Edition, it looks great, it plays great, the story is great, the gameplay is great. Like everything about this game is great. I absolutely adored my time with Mafia Definitive Edition. It's really good. The storyline is exactly what you would expect from a Mafia story. So you have this guy who is not in a family, but who ends up in the family, the crime family, the Mafia family, and he starts climbing up the ranks. And well, I don't want to spoil the ending, but the ending is exactly what you would guess. Like he wants to get out of the family, and shit happens, right? So the storyline is quite typical, but it's told really well. I like the structure of this game. It's not an open world game, really. It does have an open world element to it, where you can just drive around the city and look for collectibles, which I did, which was quite enjoyable. So after I finished the storyline of this game, I went to the free roam mode, and I just drove around looking for hidden cars and that sort of thing. It was an enjoyable evening. It was a Sunday evening as well. Perfect Sunday evening game. It's not too long either. It's around, I'd say, 10 to 12 hours, depending on how much extra stuff you want to do. But I miss these games that have a focused story and just no filler at all. You just play the game, you play through the story, and that's that. No filler. No fetch quests, side quests, no climbing towers, no unlocking this and unlocking that, no skill trees. Just you have a Tommy gun. That's enough. You don't need a 20 skill tree with like unlockables. Like, no. Just give me the fucking Tommy gun and I'll shoot the other gangsters. That's that. So it's a blast from the past. Not just in terms of being a really good game from the PS2 era, and the PC is where most people know it from. If I remember correctly, the PS2 version is not particularly well liked, but that's the one that I played, so I don't even know what the PC version is like. So I'm guessing this is more in the ballpark of that better version that people liked on the PC than it is the PS2 version. But yeah, it's just a joy to play, like all around. I don't even know what much more to say about it. Great music as well, time period specific. You can drive around in your cars, listening to the old timey tunes from a time that isn't here anymore. It's great. Everyone's wearing a suit and a hat. Everyone's looking dapper. It's great. The one mission that people remember from this game is the one where you have. It's the one where you have to race. It's a car race mission, and I thought that it was completely manageable here. On the PS2 version, it's almost unplayable. Like the controls are bad, but here I think the controls were just fine. I think I beat it on the second try, because on the first try I crashed in the last corner of the third round. Yeah, I got it on the second try. On the second try, I just completely smashed the opponents. I almost lapped them. Right, so there you go. Mafia Definitive Edition, a strong 9 out of 10. It's great. It's really good. And I'm not really looking forward to playing the second and third games because I know that I'm not going to enjoy them nearly as much. Even though I haven't never played either of them, I know that I'm not going to enjoy them as much as I did the first one because they are very different. But I'll play them at some point and I'll share my thoughts on them as well. So yeah, that's 35 minutes on these 7 games. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back again next week with something else. Bye bye. Oh, did I? Well, I'll give Fort Boyard a 4 out of 10. I think I forgot to say that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm out. Bye bye.